Guys, it's Mike, and I'm coming to you from Santa Clarita, California, Stevenson Ranch area. That is Interstate 5. It's traveling between San Diego and the Canadian border. I think it makes it all the way to Washington. And so the I-5 is a major corridor. And today I'm looking at replacing some units. Actually, the units are on order, but I need to give them the dimensions for the curbs. These are older carriers from 1996. They've definitely lived their life. You can see the drain connections. This is the filter side, the return air side. This is if there's a side discharge. You guys know all that. Here's your drain connection. So I'll have to make sure I get the right drain connection on that. That's copper. I'll have to make sure that I get that laid out correctly so I bring the right stuff. You know, the other part of it too is this rock roof. So when I come out on these rooftops, I look at the rooftop to see if it's a metal deck roof, if it's a rock roof, if it's a torch down. You know, that has a lot to do with my guys, our service techs, our installers that do the install work. I want to make sure that they're going to be comfortable, because I'm going to have to get plywood, and I'm going to have to get this, you know, really addressed so that these guys aren't working on rock and hurting their knees and hurting their bodies. So here's your gas line right here. Pretty typical of all. I'll get a pipe size on that main line coming up in case we have to go 3/4. That right there, here's your gas vent. Pretty beat up, pretty common for a unit of this age. External disconnects right there. These are 460 volt 3-phase with a auxiliary 115 volt outlet. So I got to make sure, probably gonna have to pull one of these panels off, see how the electrical comes up through the condensing section. It's probably going to come up right inside here. If you can see, look at here. Those condenser coils are really starting to show its wear. You know, that's just for an age. 1996, you know, you're 22 years old. They've lived their life here in Santa Clarita. Santa Clarita, even though you're only about 30 miles away from Los Angeles, maybe 35, 40 miles from the coast, it gets hot here because the area is surrounded by mountains. It's a little valley area, and you know, this area does not stay cool in the summertime. Triple digits, like yesterday when I got into the area from Phoenix, was up around 105 yesterday. So pretty hot. It is a beautiful area. You see all the trees up here, all the trees, rolling hills, a lot of mountains here. This area is known for wildfires up there in those hills. It's happened a bunch of times. Few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, we had a lot of homes burned here from fires. So it's definitely the place for fire. So, you know, water and rain is key to keeping this area green and to keep the fire levels low. You can really see that somebody's had a problem with water leaks. They got up here with some Pookie, some duct sealant. They've been covering up those caps. This is if it was a side discharge. This is the connection for a side discharge. Here's your filter section right here, and then your return air is down below, your condenser section, and there's 4 of these. They're all the same tonnage on these. These are all 10 ton. The last little guy to come out is this older carrier. I think it's a 2 ton or a 3 ton for the warehouse stockroom offices. You know, I never liked this design. I never liked this style of unit. It just was not my favorite. You know, the control section's right here, very hard to get into, hard to lean over to work on something. The condenser coils, you know, here you can see the electrical comes up through the condensing section. Instead of coming up on external up to a roof jack, it comes through the base of the unit. Your gas line, which is shut off. Here's your external disconnect, a little auxiliary outlet on the side. And they lasted a long time. I just didn't like the serviceability of them. You know, they're pretty reliable. There's a lot of them still out there. It was just not my favorite. And of course, everywhere I go with my Vito Pro Pack. That's my MB2. That's my original Vito bag, the MB2. I've had this now for several years. It's my go-to pack, and I really like it. So this is kind of how we do a roof layout. I'll get on Google Earth and I'll lay out from the edge to each individual unit, and then I'll drop my extension or my tape measure over the side. I'll get a height of the building that I can't get off of Google Earth, and then we'll have a complete layout with a crane, what we need for electrical, gas, and drains, and we'll be ready to go. So work safe, be good humans. We'll see you next time.